Hey there folks, welcome back. Alright, so we're going to do a little sketch session tonight. I want you to go grab your sketchbooks. And once you have that ready, you can go push pause, go get it, come back. And I'm going to teach you how to create thumbnails. If you're not familiar with what thumbnails are, they're sketches that are supposed to be the size of your thumbnail. But anyway, you're going to make a series of random lines here. So you've seen my videos before where I have created creatures, I've created machines and other types of vehicles and even characters with just random shapes. The whole point behind this exercise is to free your mind of anxiety when you're turning your sketchbook pages open and you're seeing a blank sheet of paper and you're not knowing what to put in there. Drawing these random lines really helps you start drawing for one, but also maybe you can find some really cool shapes that you can later turn into something awesome. Be it weapons, vehicles, creatures, you name it. So what I'm doing here is I'm just traveling across my page, and I'm hoping that you guys are doing the same thing too. This exercise is not only going to free your mind like I mentioned, but it's also going to get your motor skills warmed up. It's going to hopefully help alleviate any stress that you have during the day. That's the other thing. I mean, drawing is an outlet. If you really want to become a good artist, you have to love this process. Physically putting marks down on the paper. I think too many times people will be scared of, oh man, I have to be good now or else I'm never going to be able to make money at this later, or I'm never going to be able to do that, is a common thought. And the truth is, it's not about getting rich off of what you can do with your hands like that, or being the best in the world right away. None of that matters. What matters is you can scribble like this. Nobody has to see this but you. Obviously, you guys are seeing this because I'm teaching you this, but your sketchbook is going to be your diary. And I'm going to say that every video that I'm doing thumbnail sketches. Alright, so just make sure that your pencil is sharp. I'm using a 4B from Faber-Castell. Doesn't really matter what brand you use. I just happen to be using Faber-Castell for a long time. After you get your initial scribbles in, so you can see all of these random lines just going every which way. That's good. Now, I've been reading some comments over the past week about, hey, when I do random lines, I still can't see any shapes come out of it. What you're doing wrong is that you're jumping ahead thinking that these already should be something. Just look at the lines that are here. Do this with me real quick. Let's look at this one. Bunch of scribbles. There's some dark patches here and there. What could I possibly make out of this? Well, what lines are the most prominent on the page? I see this on the far left, kind of poking up. I see this black dot and these dark markings. I see kind of a dome top and then this ground right here. Okay, so maybe with the dome top, let's add some shading that follows that dome. Without the thought in my head of, oh, this has to be a glass top, or this has to be a beetle, or anything rounded, like it doesn't matter. Just put shading on it. So if you're asking, well, how do you know to put shading on it? I didn't know to put shading on it. I just wanted to. That's the point that I'm getting at. You got to free your mind up and thinking that these have to be awesome right away. They don't. They're just scribbles. But they can later form into something. So right away I'm seeing a dot here and a dot here and two here. What if that was a face? Two little nose or nostril holes and then two eyes right here. Let's make them two eyes. Why not? Maybe this is like a dog creature or something. And then lo and behold, we have a little face on here and it's almost like a little alien. If you've seen the movie Ghoulies, those of you born in the 80s, you know exactly what I'm talking about. There's ghoulies and there's critters. Comment below if you remember those movies. I love nostalgic feelings about old horror movies just because, in my humble opinion, the 80s produced the best horror movies out of any decade ever. Better than the 70s, better than the 90s. Nothing comes close to the 80s. And sci-fi too. It's pretty wicked. This looks like half of a skull, actually. And that wasn't planned. It wasn't anything. I'm just having fun here. And then hopefully you guys are having fun also. I'm looking over here and I'm thinking, well, this big chunk right here, see this big chunk? It kind of reminds me of a gorilla arm. So maybe instead of a gorilla face, it can be just a big robotic flat face, big hulking gorilla deltoid muscle and forearm, and then maybe the rest of the body here, and maybe it's mechanical. And there we have it. Of course, I love animals and I'm a creature designer, but let's say that you guys right now watching me, you don't draw at all. You don't feel creative. You suffer from aphantasia, whatever the excuse. There is no excuse when you do this. Let's just scribble and see what happens. Let's move to this next one. I see a big X followed by some rounded shapes over here on the right, and then I see this big, kind of like a butterfly wing in the back. So let's see what happens. In the front here, it almost looks like the top of a bug. It really does. It looks like the top of a bug, almost like the eyes right here, and then the wing, and then down here could be the body, or it could be like a moth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to shade on the bottom of it, which is a little tip for all of you that aren't familiar with sketching or shading in general, is that if the subject matter is lit from above, it's probably good to shade the bottom of it and fade the shading up into the sketch. I'm just pressing lightly. What this does is it gives the illusion that there is cast shadow from any kind of overhang on the body. It adds a little bit of realism and depth to it. This is kind of neat. You know, I want to keep going on this because at first I thought it was a beetle, and then I thought it was a moth, but now it kind of looks like a little ship. So maybe we can put some shapes up here. I don't know. Kind of like an organic ship. We're going to leave that because I don't want to become obsessed with that little sketch. Man, I want to come back to here on this face. This thing is starting to creep me out because it looks like a big, sad creature face with a body that's too small for it, and it looks like almost like a little dog kind of sniffing the ground. See what I'm getting at? So I'm just going to put some shading near that ground. Yeah, that's too weird. I'm stopping on that one. Okay, this one. Well, right away, the most prominent thing in this one is this weird oval. What wasn't planned but is actually working out is this shape right here. You can see the light line coming down to that little oval. There's another line that's almost duplicate of this one, and then there's a flat spot. So it could almost mean that these two are like eyes. And then maybe out here, it could be a robot head. That would be kind of neat. Why don't we do that? All these little intricate scribble lines going across the body could be indications of machine parts or manufactured parts that, you know, they got put together and this thing was built. Kind of looks like a mask too. I don't want to color inside that. Instead, I'm just going to put some shading on the outside. Notice how I haven't erased anything, and I don't want you guys to erase anything either, because you're going to embrace these scribbles and not worry about messing up, because there's no such thing as messing up in the thumbnail stage. I'm going to repeat that. There is absolutely 100% no messing up in the thumbnail stage. Why? Because it's a 100% blue sky phase of design. That means the sky is wide open. Everything is wide open for interpretation, for design to come in, and you're not getting an F. You know, you're not going to fail at anything. All of the lines down here are open for interpretation, because whenever I'm doing thumbnails, I'm always imagining a team of 20, 30, 40, 100 people looking at my drawings. And if it's a successful thumbnail, that means that 20, 30, or 40 people are all going to see something different. Nobody's going to see the same thing, which gives me a good indication that there's tons of designs that could be coming out of one thumbnail. All right, so that's why those of you that are maybe working in a studio right now, like if you're a junior artist and you kind of struggle with ideas and thumbnails, just make sure that each thumbnail is its own design, is its own unique shape. Okay. One of the things that used to happen with me when I first started in this industry is that all my thumbnails for any given subject matter, they all had the exact same shape. Like everything was exact. It wasn't, here's a moth, here's an alien head, here's a weird skull, here's a gorilla, here's that. No, it was like the same thing. So the art directors didn't have much choice. So you want to give choice. That's the whole gist of what we're doing. And also notice, I forgot to comment on this before. When we first started this page, do you remember within the first minute and a half to 2 minutes, I already had 2.5 rows done already of scribbles. And if you guys opened up your sketchbook, see how I'm just going back and forth with these sketches. Like I'll get an idea here, I'll see a line that comes out, I'll go to the other one. If you guys opened your sketchbook and you're starting and you're wondering how I'm pulling these ideas from these shapes, it's because I'm not thinking about what these drawings should be later. I'm letting it happen as it may. If you don't have any good ideas in your head, or what you think aren't good ideas, stop that mentality. Your good ideas are going to come out if you just let yourself draw. That's the cool thing. I absolutely advocate for thumbnail sketching, even for non-creatives. And I'm willing to bet that those of you watching right now, a lot of you have that sketchbook that you haven't touched in 2 years. A lot of you do. A lot of you used to have a passion for drawing and you've stopped. It's been 6 months. It's been 8 months. You know where the sketchbooks are. You know where they are. And I'm saying they because you have more than one. Put drawing off because you're doing other things, or you say you don't have time. 8 billion people on this planet. Every single person on this planet has the same 24 hours in the day. You have time to draw. Stop watching Netflix and start scribbling. Or, better yet, scribble what you see on Netflix. See, this is what happens when I'm talking to you guys and then drawing. I have no idea what that is. And I love it. I mean, even if it's not lovable, I don't even know what that is. But hey, comment and let me know what that is. One thing I do have to do is number these. 11. Okay, so there we go. We got 11 sketches that we just doodled tonight. I am going to add some darkness on the underbelly of some of these sketches, followed by some decent shading indications. Oh, I really like this one. This kind of looks like a helmet. Or it could be like a really cool UFO. It's kind of neat. Why don't we add some engines in the back? I don't know. You know, one of the most underrated movies that I've seen in the past 10 years was 10 Cloverfield Lane. You know, because I'm a huge fan of the first Cloverfield. Don't even get me started on Cloverfield Paradox. But I'm glad that there's actually a direct sequel coming out for the first Cloverfield. You know, what happened in New York City and everything. But anyway, it's besides the point. 10 Cloverfield Lane. Those of you that watched a lot of it, or most of it, you know about the alien ship at the end that was flying over the cornfields and stuff. Beautiful designs, but it had those like puttering exhaust openings in the back of the ship, and there was a ton of them, and they all spit fire and momentum in different directions to turn the ship. It was really cool. See, look at that. Started scribbling, thought it was a helmet, later became a little UFO. That's one of the cool things about small machines, if you ever draw those. So much interpretation that you could just have from those thumbnails. I thought that was drawn in igloo at first. Okay, why not? Why not? Who cares? There's an igloo. It's kind of like the movie Enemy Mine, where the Dennis Quaid came over and those little creatures, he built a shelter out of them, and the meteors came and they hit the planet, and he called it Zerky Proof. It was really funny. Hey, comment below if you know what I'm talking about with the movie Enemy Mine. Old 1985, directed by Wolfgang Petersen. Great movie. Louis Gossett Jr. played the Drac. Great movie. I heard they were going to remake that. There are some movies where you actually should remake them. Like, I was so glad Dawn of the Dead got remade. Zack Snyder. That was a good one. And in my humble opinion, I believe the 2003 version of Texas Chainsaw Massacre with Jessica Biel, I think that remake was actually really good. It's rare that a remake is good, but that one was good. I mean, The Thing is a remake from 1981. That is a remake from something in the 50s. I don't even remember the movie. These are just open for interpretation down here. You know, sometimes when I do these pages, I'll leave certain areas blank. Or not blank, just more rough than the already rough sketches, because I like to come back to these doodles. Okay, so what I want you guys to do now, evaluate your page. Evaluate your thought process on sketching. Okay, and you're going to want to slap yourself if you constantly tell yourself that you're not good enough, that you're not creative, or if you're constantly wondering how somebody can come up with so many ideas when they see sketches or see doodles and you don't know how to pull shapes out of those with the lines. I told you how to do it in the beginning. It's up to you to break through that mental barrier and actually do it. If you drew this down here, something like this, a completely crazy looking hairball, look at all of the lines and look at the permanent or the most prominent shapes. Okay, so for example, this helmet shape, I'm going to darken this. This weird, almost like a hair scribble coming out here. I'm trying to move the sketchbook up a little bit. This little hair, almost like a bow or a ribbon. And then I have this crazy line coming down. So maybe that is a long leg. Okay, it could be another bug creature, maybe not. Or maybe this is some kind of weird membrane that hangs down almost like a cloth in the belly. And then this is the body. Okay, maybe that's the eyeball. So you just, all these things that are possible. All right, so check the links in the description below. I'm running a mentorship. You can email me at bobbyrebholz@gmail.com. Several seats have been opening up now that springtime is in. What's fun about the mentorship is that I do help with the fundamentals. If you cannot draw cubes, cones, cylinders, and spheres, or if you feel like, hey, you're an adult, you're in your 40s, you're in your 50s, and nobody ever taught me how to draw a cube, okay, or you've been avoiding it, I'm going to teach you how to do it. And I'm going to teach you how to be a better artist. Secondly, our Creature Design Workshop Discord. Okay, you don't have to be a creature designer to join the Discord, but it's a bustling community. Check that link in the description and just say hi when you're in and just start posting your doodles. Okay, and last but not least, my online course, Creature Design for Film and Games, that I've been teaching at CGMA for 8 years now. It's an 8-week course, and springtime, there's still a period open for signups because we don't start until next week. Okay, and if you watch this video after that time, check the link anyway, sign up for summer. It's a lot of fun. All right, thanks everybody, and I hope that this little sketch session helped you at least change your mindset a little bit. Start scribbling. Comment below, let me know what you drew, what you got away with, okay? Especially those of you that feel like you're not a good artist. Okay, because this isn't about being a good artist. This is about thinking and taking care of that anxiety, that sketchbook anxiety. All right, folks. Thanks again. Thank you for watching me scribble and talk about it. Till next time, peace out.